Welcome, I'm Joyce Tseng, and here's what happened this week. NBA star Michael Porter Jr. was in Taiwan for a 4-day tour. Dozens of fans gathered at Taoyuan International Airport early in the morning to welcome the Denver Nuggets player. This is Porter's first time here, but he hasn't come to play his sport. Instead, he's been invited to throw the ceremonial first pitch at a baseball game in Taichung. At the airport, Porter says he's excited to know more about Taiwan and meet his fans.
I want to try the food, the beach. I heard the beach is awesome. Just interact with the fans and just see everybody.
The Under-18 Baseball World Cup has entered the next stage, with Taiwan at the top of the standings. Leslie Liao takes a look at what the team needs to do to win it all.
12 countries, hundreds of players, and 50 games, all here in Taiwan. The standings for the Under-18 Baseball World Cup are taking shape. The tournament's opening round is over, and now it's time to see who goes on to the finals. In the opening round, 12 countries were divided into two groups, A and B. Teams faced off against other countries in their group. Then the top three performers from each group moved on to the super round, while the bottom three moved to the placement round to determine their final standing. Countries that make the super round play 3 more games, and the top 4 teams in that stage move on to the championship final and bronze medal game. Team Taiwan is moving on to the super round with a perfect 5-0 record from the opening stages. But its real test begins now because Taiwan's under-18 baseball stars will have to face off against the competition's best as they go for gold. For its first game in the super round, Taiwan faced off against last year's tournament winner, Team USA. This game was a rematch of sorts as Taiwan was last year's runner-up. And what a game it was. Team Taiwan beat the USA 3-0. Pitchers Zhang Junwei and Sun Yilei held their opponents scoreless. Meanwhile, Wang Nianhao, Taiwan's captain, batted in all 3 of his team's runs, including a 2-run home run to left field.
先冲刺，拼他有没有漏接，就飞就飞出去。 就当下还是很开心啊！我终于起到带头的作用了，对吧？
Thanks to its perfect record, Team Taiwan had a 2-win advantage going into the super round. Now, with its latest triumph over Team USA, Taiwan has a 3-0 record in the super round. If it can keep up the momentum, gold will be within the team's reach, and winning the U18 at home will make victory all the sweeter. Patrick Sun and Leslie Liao in Tianmu, Taipei for TaiwanPlus.
Japanese media franchise Pokémon says it will open a store in Taipei and is now recruiting staff. But gamers say the pay-on offer is too low. Laurel Stewart takes a look.
A worldwide gaming phenomenon is coming to Taiwan. Pokémon has announced it's expanding its series of stores outside of Japan. As well as Singapore, Taipei has been chosen as a new centre selling Pokémon software, card games and other merchandise. With plans to launch in December, Pokémon is recruiting local staff, but with starting salaries of only about $1,000 per month. While many were excited about the prospect of working for the Pokémon company, others say the salary is not enough to live in Taipei.
好像可以再高一点。其实我觉得以现在如果大学新出来刚接第一份工作是还好，如果说他还有额外的福利的话，其实应该是还行，可是算不高啦。
The average salary for graduates in Taiwan is between about $800 and $1,200 per month. So Pokémon's pay offer is average, though Taipei is more expensive to live in than other cities. One job bank says that, like most retail roles, the take-home salary is dependent on sales and performance.
不过通常很多都是属于以这个底薪制，在外加这个所谓的业绩跟销售奖金，也就是很多这个门市人员其实他看起来是属于这种比较低底薪但高奖金的一个工作。
Taiwan is well known for its Pokémon co-branded events and promotions, so the new store could attract a large number of potential customers. If its employees hope to boost their pay with commissions and bonuses, they'll have to catch them all. Scott Huang and Laurel Stewart for TaiwanPlus.
Many museums around the world are having conversations about returning cultural artifacts to their former owners. But in Taiwan, an indigenous group wants the items of their ancestors to stay abroad. Louise Watt explains.
These are members of the CIDIC, one of Taiwan's indigenous groups. They're celebrating their culture, which has lasted through the ages despite repression. Now they're on a mission to revive lost knowledge of their ancestors and have been helped by the discovery of artifacts more than 8,000 kilometers away in a Swedish museum. Some of the CIDIC have traveled to see the relics.
就有点就是在跟过去的祖先做一个对话的感觉，所以那个当下其实就是有鸡皮疙瘩什么，就是看到这些东西的时候。
The items were taken as far back as 1907, when Taiwan was a Japanese colony. Some were collected by a Swedish ambassador to Japan and a Swedish researcher, and later donated to the museum. Others were taken under coercion by a Japanese botanist and eventually bought by the Swedish museum. But while many museums in the West have come under fire for holding on to looted treasures, the CIDIC are happy for Sweden to keep theirs.
我们在做文物保存的时候，其实很害怕东西移动来移动去的，这是一个。然后再来是瑞典的气候很适合保存这些东西，干燥又冷。如果台湾像那种台湾湿热天气，我们必须要花更多的成本。
The items were stumbled upon by US-Swedish curator Michael Lee when he typed in Taiwan in the museum database. After contacting researchers in Taiwan, he was overjoyed not only to discover descendants of the former owners, but that they agreed to work with the museum on an exhibition, which could throw up more of their history.
I think in general, Taiwan indigenous collections have often been overlooked in Western museums, although they are often there. So I hope that through this project, it can show not just the subject, but other indigenous communities in Taiwan that there could very well be objects in European and Western collections that were collected from their ancestors.
Now, museum visitors in Stockholm can see about 30 items. Textiles, weaving tools, baskets and hunting tools until early 2025. The tools and textiles on display in Sweden are an integral part of the CIDIC people's past. Now they're being preserved for the future in a digital archive, and that project is being managed here in Taiwan. The digital archive is the first step in what the museum and members of the CIDIC hope will become an online museum dedicated to their culture.
那现在又是网络时代，那我们为什么不要把这些东西全部都丢到云端上面？然后都是等于是说，都让我们去展览，或者是去说明这些文物的内容，去解释、去诠释它。
So while the physical exhibition in Stockholm will eventually end, the CIDIC hope the online collection merging their past, present and future will last for generations. Patrick Chen and Louise Watt for TaiwanPlus.
Rights groups and lawmakers are calling for Taiwan's hotels to be more accessible for people with disabilities. About half of the country's hotels are listed as providing accessible services, but advocates say the language around accessibility is unclear. They say this makes it hard for older people and people with disabilities to book accommodation that meets their needs. They are calling for hotels to adopt new standards to make tourism more inclusive. Over 1 million people in Taiwan sought treatment for insomnia last year. But Taiwan's hospitals are running out of resources to help the restless. Once again, Leslie Liao has this story.
There's nothing quite like a good night's sleep. But for the 1.5 million Taiwanese who sought treatment for insomnia last year, punching their ticket to dreamland is more frustrating than restful. A common cause of insomnia is sleep apnea, a disorder that disrupts people's breathing while sleeping. Ignoring sleep apnea can lead to cardiovascular diseases, depression, and even dementia. Unfortunately for the restless, only around 60 of Taiwan's hospitals have dedicated sleep treatment centers. And Dr. Ling attributes the shortfall to a lack of sleep technicians around the country.
搞不好那个送 Uber Eats 就是还是 Food Panda， 你只要勤劳一点，其实薪水也差不多这样。他干嘛要来做这个轮班工作？我大概都招半年以上，都找不到的。
Ling says more funding and benefits are needed to attract people to the job. Otherwise, patients and doctors alike won't be getting any rest. Scott Huang and Leslie Liao for TaiwanPlus.
A pharmacy in New Taipei City is providing fitness courses for people with dementia. Workers in the pharmacy say they hope the exercises will support the day-to-day life of elderly people. This comes after a survey by Taiwan's National Health Institute showed that almost 8% of people there over the age of 65 have dementia. The country is adapting its services for elderly people and is on track to become a super-aged society by 2025. Are you happy with the way you look? Apparently, a lot of people in Taiwan are. A global study linking a positive body image to better life satisfaction has ranked Taiwan second in the world. Malta scored the highest out of the 65 countries surveyed, with Australia in last place. The study is one of the largest ever conducted on this topic, sampling over 56,000 people. Researchers found single people had a higher positive body image on average compared to people who are married or in a relationship. The study also found that people living in rural areas tended to be happier with the way they look. The Taiwanese fiddler crab is unique to Taiwan, but it's become vulnerable due to habitat loss and invasive species. A county in central Taiwan now plans to intervene. John Van Trieste has more.
The Taiwanese fiddler crab is a species found only in Taiwan. Researchers think there are around 870,000, mostly around this one river, the Zhuoshui, in central Taiwan. There could be more, but their numbers are constrained by two types of vegetation. Surveys show smooth cordgrass and gray mangrove are increasingly taking over this swampy land. Though the plants can coexist with the crabs to a certain point, too many of them means there's no space for the crabs to lay and hatch their eggs. The local Yunlin County government has a plan to restore balance between the two.
这次我们会进行所谓的海茄苳的移除啦，就是为着保育和找草蟹的部分。
The plan is to have workers clear around 20 hectares by the end of October. It may be tough work, but conservationists say it will be worthwhile.
台湾旱招草蟹，然后它是全世界的特有种，只有在台湾才有。那它经过生态调查，发现有85% 以上的数量都在浊水溪出海口这个地方。所以我们其实做书法有一部分是为了帮它建立更好的生态环境。
The hope is that a bit of human intervention will help bring the balance this special native species needs to thrive. Scott Huang and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
Animal rescue workers are helping out some unexpected victims of a typhoon, baby turtles. Eric Gao has the details.
Here on Taiwan's outlying island of Penghu, animal conservation workers are making sure these baby sea turtles make it out of their nests and into the sea. That's after the recent passage of Typhoon Haikui made it difficult for them to get out on their own.
该处的软窝呢，应该是已经孵化，但是里面的海龟呢是属于体弱，所以没有办法爬出。因此呢，我们呢去这个紧急的开挖。
Conservationists say the eggs were laid in mid-July, with 29 of the babies hatching. They're the first batch of turtles to be born this year at the Wang An Turtle Conservation Center. Officials say visitors to the center are welcome to observe the baby turtles, but to leave the rescue efforts to the experts. Interfering with the animals could come with a fine of over $9,000. Howard Zhang and Eric Gao for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching. Here's what happened. Finally today, check out these dogs barking along to Leopold Mozart's Hunting Symphony with the Danish Chamber Orchestra. I'm Joyce. Take care and see you next time.